Hello, good evening, and welcome to Full Time Reds on the LFC Daytrippers. I'm your host Keith, and I'm joined tonight by Kev, where we're going to discuss Liverpool's, I wouldn't say easy passage through to the semi-final of the Champions League, but an eventful game, Kev, wasn't it? There was plenty of things that happened, and where did we start on it? Where did we finish? I don't know.
That was a madness, wasn't it? It was one of those games that it shouldn't have been anywhere near as dramatic as it was towards the end. But for 70 odd minutes, it was a really comfortable night's work, I thought. It was everything you want in a semi-final, making that, or in a quarter-final, having made that many changes. It was everything you wanted in the game until a madness for 10 minutes. And then we saw it out in the end. We're in the semi-final of the Champions League, man.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the most important thing.
That's it.
And you sort of hit the nail on the head there, Kev. A much changed team. And if you look back on the highlights, which I'm always a fan of, watch a game back. If you can watch the full game back, when you take out the uncertainty of knowing the result, and you watch that game back, Liverpool battered them, even with the change side, even with the 7 changes from the weekend. Question marks about some, but some players really did stand out. It's just about getting there, isn't it? It was always going to be. We done a show last night, and there was, you didn't want to say we've look ahead to the semi until we got tonight out of the way, and it was important that we got tonight done and dusted, and just happy to get through. Whatever way it is.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I saw the team. I mean, we all picked teams last night, and it was a case of who could outdo each other with the most changes. Yeah. Nobody said 7.
I think between the three, I think between us, we got the number of changes, but
not in one team sheet we didn't.
Yeah.
But were you surprised with not with the number, but with the personnel?
Well, we go through the team, right? So we have Alisson in goal, 3 changes to the back, and that I was surprised that was Matip that kept his place, because I thought of all them, and I think we all said it last night, of all the players who would get a rest, it would have been Matip. So he plays, which probably indicates he may not start the weekend, or would you disagree with that? The way the games are going to come, or he does start and sits out Manchester United, where Canate could come in.
I think the way it's sitting, the Man United game comes around really quick.
Yeah.
After the Cup. So I think that he probably misses out in the Cup semi-final, but plays in the other one. But it just goes to show how much that Man City game took out of players, because Virgil doesn't get rested. Do you know what I mean? And look, we did the job over there to have the cushion to be able to do this. So I suppose if you're going to do it at all, it had to be tonight, because there's no luxury anywhere from here on out unless we create a luxury towards the end of the month. But I was surprised with 7. I thought Fabinho would start. I didn't expect to see Henderson and Milner in midfield. Naby, I was full sure was going to start. In the front 3, I thought, that's fine. Pick any 3 from 5.
Yeah.
And the fact that you get Mo and Sadio rested for an hour, great. Delighted with that. But to play Milner and Henderson in the same 3, I thought, that's you're exposing them, I think, unnecessarily.
Yeah, I mean, what they give you with experience, they don't have in legs, they don't have in being able to get around the pitch. I think one or the other for a game like that is fine. 2 of them, maybe not so much. Laszlo was saying Keith is literally in an echo chamber. So look, I apologise if I am a bit echoey tonight. I was telling Kev I'm out in the hallway here. I'm not even in my apartment. So apologies for that. But look, we won't keep you too long, so we won't have to put up with me for too much. 2 changes at fullback, Kev. I think I'd suggested maybe 1 last night. I was saying I wouldn't have been surprised to see Gomez coming in, and someone then said about Tsimikas. I didn't think the 2 of them would be brought in, but they came in. The midfield was pretty pedestrian with the 2 boys in there. I thought Keita played well. And then the front 3, as you say, you pick any 3 from 5 now, and it'll always be Mane and Salah as the main men. So the fact that they sit out, you you can't argue with the performances of the front three then again
No,
tonight. So, all in all, it works. But look, the game starts off, Kev, and I think Liverpool are in control. There's not too much happening. We score from another Kanate header, pretty similar to his goal last week.
It was a really good header, because when they analyze it at half time, he was on the way down.
Yeah.
So he got up early, and there was last week, the away game, he got ahead of the centre back and made that header his own. This one, he had to fight to get on the ball, and he still had the players in front of him, and he just bullied his way into that. And I thought it was a better goal, personally, than the one in the first leg. I was happy for him as well, because with his size and frame, he should be getting more.
Yeah.
And I think it will come for him. He will be a real threat in the coming years. And it was a great delivery as well, right in a place where you're asking the keeper to make a choice. It's not in the front post. It's not all the way to the back. It's right on the penalty spot. And if your keeper's brave, he'll come for it. If not, you're really going to attack it with the size of the players that we have.
They equal, or they get one back on the night. They have one, they miss one then. Darwin Nunez goes through, gets called for, was it Nunez goes in, gets called for offside. Excuse me. And they did get one onside. But it's a pattern for how the match goes, really, isn't it? I would say this wasn't our greatest performance or execution of the high line tonight. If we're being honest.
We'll get to that in a bit, but this first goal was all on Naby being drawn to the ball when he shouldn't have been, because he exposed Henderson to a 2v1. Milner almost got there. A couple of years ago, Milner gets that and he gets the block on it, but it was his clip, and it was his foot played the ball. That's what kept him on side. Because he was offside. Or no, he wasn't. It was borderline.
No,
it was right. He was right on the
limit.
But it was Milner played the ball back.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those. He did his best to try to get there, but half a second and half a yard short.
Yeah. It was just
good
one
finish.
of them.
Good
finish. Great finish. Finish. But it gave them an opportunity. It gave them a chance. And we go in then. Liverpool have loads of chances. We won't go through all the opportunities, but the front three did look lively. Diaz looked lively in the first half, was getting chances. Jota was all over the place getting chances, and Bobby was just sort of floating about. It took him a while to get into the game, but second half comes, they make a change. They bring in Yaremchuk, they put Darwin Nunez out wide, and it makes a bit of a difference for them. They're looking to expose, I think, an area, I won't be too harsh, but a weakness maybe in the team. But we go into the second half and we then get 2 goals. So the first one comes on, excuse me, on 55 minutes. The ball breaks. The keeper has a bit of a mare on it, doesn't he? He comes, it looks like there's nothing, a bit of a nothing chance, and he flies out and the ball just rolls. It's a bit ridiculous, but it breaks then to Jota, who, well, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. That's not a cross. He's trying to shoot and he slips and it goes. And Bobby is in the right place at the right time to tap home.
Yeah.
And then we see after changes start coming. Then after the second goal, then we bring in Salah, Fabinho, Thiago. We take out Milner, Henderson and Jota. And you think, right, that gives us the impetus, that gives us the strength to go on. And we do go on. We get a third goal. An excellent goal. Talk about this one.
Yeah, the free kick it came in off Costa's side. And I thought he was exceptional tonight, by the way.
Well, yeah.
But it was just the delivery. Everything was about the delivery. The finish was easy, but everything was about the delivery. And the timing of Bobby timed the run perfectly, right on it. And he's done that time after time after time. He's into double figures now for the season. And I think someone will put a number in the chat of how many he's got in the Champions League this year. I think he's on 5 or 6. or something like that in the Champions League. He's giving Klopp a decision to make because when he plays really well. He's been playing really well. I thought Diaz was interesting today though because he played off the right.
Yeah.
For the main, and that's I don't remember him doing that job for us anyway. Not very often.
I don't think he's done it very often for Porto either or Colombia. I think he does do all his work from the left.
From the left, yeah. But he looked really good when he made himself a half yard and taking shots. He's got some venom in those shots. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I thought he was pretty good. But yeah, Bobby, it was a great finish, but it was one of those ones that Bobby just makes it look easy because of the timing. But he was able to time it because of the quality of the delivery. It was a great ball.
It really was. And, you know, a lot of people are giving Simicast love in the chat tonight saying he was man of the match. We'll come on to that in a few minutes. But, you know, he was excellent. He was very good. But 3-1 up puts us
6-2
on aggregate on the toy. The game is essentially over. I don't really care what happens after that. That's the intensity has gone out of the team. Then there's no need for Liverpool to push on and try and get any more. But we then get a goal back for Yaremchuk on the 73rd minute, and it gets flagged for offside. And I thought it's off. It's definitely off until I saw Gomez. I think it is that plays the man. I thought Gomez struggled tonight. I like him on the ball, actually at right back, which is surprising because I didn't used to like him on the ball. He's not Trent. You're never going to get Trent. And I think we need to sort of, you know, whether it's Nico when he was there, whether it's Gomez, you're not going to get a Trent. So just get a fullback who can do the job. And I thought he was okay. But his management of the line, maybe the playing out position affects him a bit, but I just felt he was always a bit, looking for him on the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, where's Gomez? Because he's been a yard, or he's the one closest to the crime on a few of them. But they get through, it's a finish then. They then get another one. Again, it looks...
That was really close.
I'm looking at that really one and I'm like, I'm talking conspiracy theories and all over the place. I'm like, why are they not showing us a replay of this? But to be honest with you, Kev, I think the way I am with this now, if they call them for offside, they're offside. Do you know what I mean? It's not a case of wonky lines and crooked lines being drawn.
I trust the process on that 100%.
Yeah, so you have to accept it.
Yeah, you just have to. But I thought the last goal was Konate. But I don't mind that because you're talking the smallest of margins. When you look at the amount of times that Benfica got through and were offside, was quite a lot. Now, I thought Benfica's finishing, I thought Darwin Nunez was outstanding tonight. I thought his finishing was unbelievable. So much so that I wouldn't mind seeing him at Anfield permanently.
Do you know the problem I have with him is he's not... I don't think he's good enough. Well, I don't think he's good enough for their starting team. And I think he's going to cost like around 70 million. So
it'd be interesting to see what happens in the summer. I think he's better than that.
But he'd be that sort of big forward. Do you know what I mean?
I was just really impressed with his finishing. He's 22 and the timing of his runs was slightly off. But you're talking slight, you know. The thing is, against us, any side who plays against us, if you time your runs right and you get that final ball right, you know, you will give yourself chances. But I said if twice there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of ifs and not many sides are able to get it all right.
Yeah.
And that's what we're banking on. Now, the line itself, if you're taking the line off Joe Matip, Konate should have been slightly up, but that's only slightly margins. The Joe Gomez one was bad. You know, that wasn't close. You know, Joe should have been up, you know, a couple of feet. You know, maybe that's just game time that with match experience, match sharpness, he picks that up. You know, when you're being dropped into important games and you might be only playing once every 6 weeks or once every 6, maybe longer. it's understandable that your match sharpness won't be there. But so overall, and the other side, I think someone said their Kieran Beale saying their concentration. To be fair, I think the intensity of us dropped at 6-2, and understandable. You're done.
You have a big game at the weekend.
The
You
job's
have a
done.
Manchester United game coming thick and fast. You have to look at the bigger picture, and I agree. Now, and I think we also have to take into account 3 changes into a back four as well. Well, they're all top quality players in their own right. It's still a lot of changes, so maybe there is a bit of rust there. Or
and they've never played together either. That back four, I don't think would have ever started a game together.
Yeah.
And if they have, it might only be the odd one.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it was nearly like a League Cup team that we put out there tonight. No disrespect.
Yeah.
You're looking at 7 changes from your strong team, and you're still bringing in quality players. But for the sheer volume of changes, we done the job. We got over the line. They had chances. Then Alisson makes an excellent save. Then from Darwin Nunez, excellent volley down low. It's going in, and he gets over to it with a strong hand, which is brilliant. And then there's another offside, but I think Nunez is clearly offside on that last one. He's a few yards off.
Yeah.
They gave us a scare, but I just think it was one of them. Get yourself into the semi-finals by hook or by crook, whatever means necessary. And
I think by hook or by crook, if push come to shove and we needed to get anything, we could have got it. No, I wouldn't have any doubts about it, because even late on, we were getting chances. Mo had that curling shot that was on target, just, half a foot too high. Sadio was unlucky. He almost expected Mo's shot to go in. Mo taking his shot with his right foot rather than his left. And Sadio tapped it, and he knew straight away. But look, job's done. We're into a semi-final against Villarreal.
Yeah, indeed.
Great, absolute dynamite, and everyone has to be ecstatic about that. You have to be buzzing off that. I would love to ask someone in the chat, actually, Laura, if anyone is in the chat, how many offside goals were there tonight for both sides? I just out of curiosity, because I lost count.
Yeah,
I have no clue. I lost count.
Exactly, it was a bit of a mad one, but as you say, we're into that semi-final. Man of the match for you. Who was the standout for you?
I'd have to give it to Costas, I think.
Yeah.
And the reason I would is because Bobby gets the goals, but the goals were made by the delivery. The delivery made the goals rather than the other way around. You normally see balls put into an area and finished. These were just brilliant deliveries, and he was a constant threat. He was up and down. I felt for Joe Gomez, because once Nunez went on that side, all the attacks went down that side. Costas was pretty much protected from that side of it, but the defensive work that he was asked to do, he did it really well. And he was always an outlet. He was always looking to get beyond and cause a threat. I thought he was really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. He's getting a lot of love in the chat there tonight. I thought Simicast was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think he's one that, if we had that for Trent's side, you know what I mean? And no disrespect to Gomez, but if you have a player that doesn't have to do what Trent does, but just gets up and down the line and can deliver across like him, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. But he's good with the ball. He looks to attack. He's solid in defence. It's just a shame that he's behind the best left back in the world. That
he's got a lovely set piece delivery as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean the delivery for that goal was just the trajectory on it and the pace that he put on it. It's just what you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can't really argue. On their side, I think it is worth a little chat for a couple of minutes about Darwin Nunez, because a lot of people are saying, bring him in. We touched on it there a minute ago. Would you like to see him at Anfield? But what do you think would need to happen? What would
someone would have to go? Someone would have to go, and I think it would have to be through the middle and not Divock. I think the only way it could happen is if Bobby went, or if Bobby was sat back into the James Milner role, coming in to play bit parts in games and play in midfield in maybe cup games or games against the lower, as one of the three in midfield with two more experienced players next to him to rotate players for his final year. I think that's the only way that kind of a deal can happen, because he's going to want to play. And your man that went to Juventus, his name escapes me. Vlahovic was a big talk for the last 12 months, and he's kicked on and done really well at Juventus. I think this kid has got a great trajectory on him. I can see him replacing Suarez at Atletico. I think he would suit Atletico Madrid to a T with the youth that they have, with the relationship with João Felix and maybe a Griezmann. It would be interesting to see how he kick on there. I'd hate to see him in the Premier League against us, because I think if he played in the Premier League with a good side, he could develop into a Sergio Aguero type striker, because he's got that knack of being in the right place at the right time, and he can finish. He really is a good finisher.
He is. Even like at the chances that he took tonight and, didn't get away with them all, it just showed that he is a finisher. Do you know what I mean? And I think, we've got a guy, Carlos Santos, is in here, and he's putting a lot of comments in, but they're in Portuguese.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm going to have a guess and say Benfica will sell Darwin for 70 million euros. Tell us if we're right or not, but we'll just have a guess on that. But that seems to be the figure that's getting bandied about, 70 million.
You know what? You're talking £58 million.
Yeah.
For a 22-year-old striker who could be at your club for 8 years.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I think. I don't think it's going to be us.
No, I don't think it'll be us, because I think it's going to have to be someone that, you're paying that money, he's going to be your main attacker. And I don't think he is for Liverpool. No disrespect to him. He's an excellent player, really, really good player. But I don't think he's that for us. Where would you see him going if he was to go to the Premier League? I've seen him linked with a few teams. Who would he suit? Who would he suit? Put it that way.
I think Newcastle fans would love him. I think he could be an absolute hero at Newcastle. If he was prepared to buy into that kind of a project where they're looking to, you are the main man, everything is going to be built around you, you're going to be the star, and not next season, but the season after, we're going to be really pushing hard for Europe, and you're going to lead us there, then I think he'd be perfect for him. If he wants to join a Chelsea, he'll be one of many. If he wants to join a Man City, he'll be one of many. Manchester United, God knows what they're doing. Arsenal would be interesting.
They need forwards.
Yeah.
He is the ideal fit for them.
Yeah.
Based on the profile that they were looking at in January, when you see Vlahovic, you see Isak, you see Calvert-Lewin, all these big lads, but that quick as well.
Calvert-Lewin was falling through by all accounts. That's not
because he's shy.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people twigging onto that one now. But if he's not going to be playing in the Premier League at a Champions League club, I don't think Spurs would look at him. Or I don't think Spurs could look at him.
Spurs are looking at him, apparently, but it doesn't make any sense.
No, a lot of things would have to happen at Spurs. Or they'd look at Kulusevski and say, thanks, but no thanks. And I can't see that.
I'd be surprised at that.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised the way
he's you know what I mean? He
might want that. He might want to go back.
Yeah, you're looking at it at the mathematics of it all. That for Spurs to go and get him, something else would have to happen.
Yeah,
and they'd have to free up money somewhere else. Maybe Lucas Moura, Bergwijn, losing those type of players. And in fairness, you still need a squad. So I don't think they can sell everyone to buy him. Arsenal would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
But I honestly, hand on heart, I could see him at Atletico Madrid. That road has been travelled fairly well by Uruguayan players through Portugal into Spain, and then maybe on. He might go to Atletico for 3 or 4 years and then kick on to a PSG, something similar to what Cavani did.
Yeah.
Do the rounds of all the top European clubs, maybe end up his career finishing off at a Manchester United type, so a club who's going to sign a player past his peak, but someone with a reputation,
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one to watch.
We want to watch in the summer for sure.
But look, well, let's not talk too much more about Darwin and Benfica. They're a good team. They're a good side. They didn't have enough, unfortunately, for them tonight. Fortunately for us, we're on to Villarreal now, Kev. You've said it there. We sort of touched on it. You couldn't have picked it better, but we don't want to underestimate them because we said it last night. They're like Atletico Madrid light, and you know,
yeah, it's a different game, isn't it? They're I don't think that Klopp or anyone really, because by the time we come around to play them, we'll have all watched them a couple of times in the league, and we'll see what they're about. But to come through the pathway that they've come through, you know, if you look at their record in Europe, they're 23 games unbeaten in knockout football between Europa League and Champions League. You got to give the devil its due. He's very good at getting through these rounds.
yeah.
And that's all what this is about. They're going to come to Anfield first leg and shut up shop. But when you compare to the side that we faced when we played Villarreal last time as compared to this side, you know, as the squad stands today, fancy us to go through. It won't be easy, but I think we'll show them more respect than what Bayern did. We'll play them properly, not like a video game.
Exactly.
You know? And you won't see Parejo coming out after the game saying Jurgen Klopp said this and we pinned that to the wall and that was our motivation like they did with Nagelsmann.
Yeah, exactly. Klopp won't make those mistakes. You know, they've got one of the best coaches in Europe, in my opinion, in knockout European competition. And Jurgen Klopp will respect that. If you know, even if he didn't, which we all know he does respect them as a team, but even if he didn't respect the team and the history of Villarreal, he respects Unai Emery, and he won't take them for granted. Listen, we'll wrap this up, Kev, because I sound like I'm talking through a blade and I'm getting loads of stick there. I'm getting the echo chamber stuff. So, look, a good night, a good win. We're in the next round. That's the important thing. Everybody in the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you don't subscribe. Gav has shows coming out of his ears. You know, there's always something on this channel, and you know, all the support is appreciated. But if you do, have a look at Féileacáin, our charity partner that we're backing. We're trying to get to 10,000. You know, I said this last night. I won't go through it all again. We know times are tough for everybody, so if you can share it and spread the word, that'll even be something. You know, it'll affect somebody. So, before we do wrap up, hold on. Carlos is back. Congratulations to Liverpool. Good luck with the rest of the competition. Sorry, my bad English. Glory so SLB, Viva lo Benfica. No, listen, Carlos, that's fair play to you for coming on with the English there, because you think your English is bad. Our Portuguese is a lot worse than that.
Yeah, well done.
Look,
fair play to
thanks.
Carlos,
Unlucky tonight. Best of luck for you in there. I know it's not going great for you in the league as well there, but big club, turn it around. Hopefully it comes good for you.
Good manager coming in as well.
Yeah, that's it. So,
PSV Eindhoven, and a young squad.
Yeah, there's some good players.
There,
yeah.
Just hope to keep the majority of them together. Great stadium. Stadium. But next season, who knows what it brings?
Well, this is it. So look, we'll call full time on Full Time Reds. I've been your host, Keith. He's been Kev as usual, and we'll be back again soon. Talk to you all again. Oops.